Ohana ladies, Ohana leaders, I'm super excited to take a minute to share some of the things that have been on my mind with this upcoming event that I've been talking with Bonnie about. And I realized I don't even know that I've shared the name of the event with Bonnie. So you guys are brave to trust her and to go, maybe I'm open to it. But I want to take a minute to kind of share kind of the vision for the event, how it works, and the name. So we call this Rise Recharge. And that name came from my wife, who is a mother, and she contributes to our business, this business. She supports me in this immensely. And she said, women need a recharge. She said most women are pretty in tune with their goodness, their lovability, and their strengths, but life can be exhausting. And as we were talking about creating an event for women, she said it needs to be a recharge where they go home on top of the world. They are tapped into who they really are, who they're at their core, what I call the higher self. And so this recharge has been in the works for a while. We started with men's events with the intention to do women's shortly thereafter, and the pandemic got in the way. So I'm super excited that you'll be the first group that we run through this. And what's really cool about Recharge and all of our events is it's created specific for you. And so this isn't something that I've concocted a game plan and said, here's all the things I want to teach people in these different areas of life. This is actually meant to be an experience where you go home having something that you look back on and you go, there was me before this event and there's me after. And so the way that this works is if you decide to come, we'll schedule a time to chat and deep dive into your goals, your dreams, the things that you're aware of that may hold you back. And then I take all that information and I create an experience for the participants, for you ladies. And what's really cool about this, I know you're a tight-knit group and you're pretty open with each other, but there may be parts of the experience and part of the processes that I guide you through that you're not ready to open up and share, and maybe don't even need to be shared. What I've learned over the past 10 years as a therapist, and specifically over the last 4, is there's a way to get the results we want without continuously having to process what we've been through. So I'm a trained trauma therapist, I'm a trained couples therapist, I've worked with addictions a lot, and one of the things I've found is a lot of times people spend time looking into their past to figure out why they are the way they are, or why they have the struggles they do. And what I've learned is there's a way to go, where are you? Where do you want to go? And let's activate what you have internally to help you get there. Let's see if we can find new skills, new techniques, new capabilities that will help you get there. And if not, we can release the stuff from the past that's getting in the way. And so this event will cover we kind of break it into 2 areas of life. One we call self-leadership, and the other one we call influence and impact of others. And so in the self-leadership portion, the first part is getting you in tune with your higher self. Most of the world tends to be operating from their limiting beliefs, from negative emotional states, or from kind of the cravings of the human body. And this event is meant to tap you in first to your spirit, to your soul, to your purpose, to your true identity. And from there, we then address your common emotional states. I teach you how to release those emotions instantly, how you can shift out of those and retrain yourself to not do them anymore. This is a really cool process that I'm excited to teach you, that took me a long time to learn. But the common thing we see is this sense of learn not to react to your emotions. If you get, for example, triggered, a lot of people know that term. If you get triggered emotionally, have the awareness to sit with it, which is good. We want to take it a step further where you go, I have this common pattern of triggering into, fear or sadness or anxiety or whatever it is. I want to train my mind where when that same external thing happens, nothing happens for me. My brain doesn't read it as a problem. I don't dump the chemicals. I don't feel the feelings, and I have nothing left to manage. And when I came across some of these techniques and started to combine them together and started to see that people can live at what I call awesome. from moment to moment, and having an awareness of, hey, I'm not at super awesome. I know how to get back there really quick. We do things called anchoring, where we take the concept of a trigger and we create positive situations, positive, whatever you want to call them, symbols, where you can see a picture, you can read a word, and your brain shifts into an empowered state. That's rad. That's cool. So I'm excited to run you guys through that process and teach you that, and have you experience your peak emotional state and lock it in here, where you can live day to day from that place. The other piece we're going to look at is your mindset. Okay, I want to get you to your, I call it the queen state for you ladies, and for us, the men, and maybe your husbands that come down the road, we call it the king state, the king mentality, where you are in tune with your confidence, your capabilities, your lovability, and you know that whatever you need is inside or accessible to you, and that you're capable of creating the life you want. We look at the body and its cravings, right? Its needs. It needs sleep. It needs food. It needs exercise, right? And coming from Optavia and Ohana, right, you know that a lot of people want the results, but something in here doesn't allow them to follow through. And so this event is really meant to not train you with more knowledge. There's a lot of information. I remember in this book a few years back, maybe a year ago, and it said the unfortunate thing in the English language that is not in any other language is we only have one word for knowledge. And in other languages it's split into two. There's knowledge like information, and there's knowledge like experience, skill. Right? So I'm a big snowboarding fan, and I could read books on snowboarding and how people carve and they go on their toes and they hit jumps, and I could read about, the wind coming in, the snow and whatever. That's knowledge, right? It's a whole different story if I strap in, get on a snowboard, and I'm on the mountain, right? And I'm learning to do it. I'm becoming skilled, becoming an expert in snowboarding. And so this experience is meant to be that type of knowledge, where you leave knowing how to tap into your goodness, your strengths, your purpose, with a plan to carry it out, and the knowledge that whatever comes up that tries to block that, you know how to overcome. So in this area of self-leadership, spirit, mind, body, emotions, we also look at things like your relationship to money. We look at aspects of you relationally. Okay, how do you show up in your different relationships? We can talk about things as far as development in aspects of different types of relationships. That might be aspects of your marriage, aspects of parenting your children, aspects of your business. It's all about you. How are you going to show up in your world and create what you desire? So the next part is that impact part, the part where we look at how do you influence those around you. So we specifically will look at romantic relationships, your marriage, or a committed partnership, and then we'll look at your relationship with your children, each of your children. We look at your relationship with a higher power, with God, with Heavenly Father, and we let go of any limiting beliefs or limiting emotions that keep you from experiencing the type of relationship you desire. We empower you with confidence to go, there's a path forward where in each of these places I can have something more fulfilling, more meaningful, more edifying. I teach a concept called corrective emotional experiences, connective emotional experiences, and edifying experiences. All of these start with your mind, envisioning what you want, and then tapping into your higher self and coming up with a way to have an experience with those that you interact with. And so if you think of, maybe you have some things in your past that were painful. Most of those were painful emotional experiences, disconnecting, even destructive emotional experiences. And they had an effect on you, right? Same thing if we flip it and we go, let's be intentional with what we want. We don't want sadness, we don't want loneliness, we don't want hurt, we don't want rejection, we want love, peace, enjoyment, smiling, laughter. How am I going to create that? How am I going to show up? How am I going to invite those that I interact with to have an experience with me that's meaningful, that's edifying? And so all these different areas of life are wrapped into one. And the coolest part about it is when you get tapped into your higher self, everything becomes easier. Have you ever tried to get out of anxiety when you're in anxiety? Ever tried to figure out your marital problems when you just had a conflict or a disagreement? When you get in tune with that higher part of you, your purpose, your true identity, your unique strengths, and then you start to come up with plans and you know how to execute those plans from a higher space, life becomes much easier. At this event, I'll share a little bit of my backstory, my journey. Everything started with me trying to figure me out, trying to figure out our marriage and our parenting. And I got to this place where I said, whatever it takes, no matter how long. And that led me to seek numerous different things in the therapeutic field, and then also in the spiritual realms, in the realms of connection to a higher power and to connecting to my higher self. And so I'm excited to help you, because I know you influence a lot of people, and help you is not the right word. I provide a place and some space for you to immerse yourself, in your goodness, and what you bring to the world. And as we go through this process, I know that you'll go home and influence others. Some of you may be interested in some of the techniques I use in your own coaching business. We can talk about that. I remember some of the specific skills and processes I use that I'm trained to certify others in. I remember walking out of a training with a therapist buddy of mine that we went to school together, and it was after a 2.5-week training, and I said, I would trade my master's degree for what we just learned. This is far more empowering because it's skill sets, it's capabilities that people can develop. It's not just a theory, it's not just information about change, it actually creates the change in the moment. So if you come willing to play full out, I promise you, you'll have a massive internal shift. You'll feel it. And you'll go home and you'll know how to access it again and again. I can say this with confidence because I've felt it for myself. And we've only done these types of events with men thus far. But I've worked with a lot of women one-on-one in my therapy practice, where I've guided them through a similar process, only much shorter, right? Typically like a day, maybe 6-7 hours. I'm excited that we have 2.5 days together to go through this process. Everybody, 100% of the people I've done this with, the men at the events, the men in the one-on-ones, the women one-on-ones, everybody has left in a more empowered state, more in tune with what's possible for them, with a confidence in here and in here that they can achieve it. So I'm super excited to have you sign up and to come. I'm excited to talk with you before you come and to learn what it is you're wanting to achieve, what gets in your way, and then to see you at Recharge and see you come alive and see you bring your strengths to help those that will experience this with you come alive. I'll see you soon.